Hello everyone, my name is Emma and I'm with the University VAWLT program. Today we will be talking about sentence fragments. A fragment is a sentence that does not contain an independent clause, which means it's not really a sentence. A proper sentence contains a subject, a verb, and a complete thought. If your sentence does not have all three, then it is most likely a fragment. So, is it a sentence or is it a fragment? There are 4 reasons that you might have a fragment and not a sentence. If the subject is missing, the sentence will leave you wondering what or who the sentence is about. Walked up to the counter. This leaves you asking, what or who walked up to the counter? Johnny walked up to the counter. This is a correct sentence that includes a subject. Skipped over to the park. We want to know what or who skipped over to the park. Lucy skipped over to the park. This is again a correct sentence containing a subject. Next we move on to missing verbs. If there is no verb, we will wonder what the subject did or what the subject is. Here are some examples. Your best friend. We know who this is supposed to be about, but now we don't know what they are or were doing. Your best friend is or was what? Your best friend is running in the marathon. This sentence now contains a verb. My great-grandmother. My great-grandmother did what? My great-grandmother was playing tennis last week. This is now a proper sentence that contains a subject and a verb. Some fragments are missing both their subject and verb. Here are some examples. In the backyard. Who was in the backyard? What were they doing? We were playing in the backyard. Home last night. Who was home last night? How did they get there? There are many questions that can be asked of a statement like that. My brother drove home last night. This is just one of many ways that that fragment could be corrected. Next, we move on to subordinate clauses. Subordinate clauses contain a subject and a verb but do not express a complete thought. Examples. Anytime I go for a jog. This fragment contains a subject and a verb but it does not express a complete thought. Anytime I go for a jog, I see wildlife. This contains the 3 key essentials that make up a sentence: a subject, a verb, and a complete thought. If your sentence contains all 3 of these, then it is most likely a sentence and not a fragment. After my sister walks off the stage. I will leave after my sister walks off the stage. This is again a proper sentence with a subject, a verb, and a complete thought. This is a great visual web that shows the basic questions to ask to determine if your sentence is fragmented or not. This is also a checklist of the 3 most essential parts of any sentence: a verb, a subject, and a complete thought. So to review, keep in mind that every sentence contains a subject, a verb, and a complete thought. If you are missing one of them, then you have a fragment. Do we know who or what the sentence is about? Do we know what the subject did or what the subject is? Do we have both a subject and a verb? Does the sentence convey a complete thought? And a tip: always try having you or someone else read your paper aloud. It can make it easier to spot fragmented sentences as well as many other grammatical errors. These are the resources that I used to create this tutorial. They are all some of the best resources to learn more about sentence fragments. You can also contact the VAWLT program for more writing assistance and for other tutorials. You can submit a help request, check us out on Twitter and Google+, or send us an email.